Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Bite Size Insight with Monique, episode number 6. So, I got a good one for you. We are in Purim, or Purim, Feast of Purim, right now, as recorded in the Book of Esther. So, we're going to take a look at this. Now, the Book of Esther is fantastic. Definitely encourage you to go ahead and read the whole entire thing. But this right here, this Feast of Purim, the Book of Esther, is what is known as the divine reversal. Okay? Divine reversal, divine promotion is what happens here. You've got the story of, I'm just going to pick up where I want to pick up. You got to read the rest of the chapter if you have, or the book if you haven't yet. So you have Haman. Okay, so Haman is a leader. Now this is all politics. This is exactly what we see in our world today. This is all politics, is what's happening here in the Book of Esther. Haman is one of the main people of the king. Mordecai, who is Esther's cousin, is like a scribe in the kingdom. And so they're involved in politics. Now, because of Haman's position, people would bow to Haman, but Mordecai would not bow. He would not pay any kind of homage to this man because his loyalty is with God. Okay? We kind of see that in culture, right? People wanting you to bow, to succumb to them, to their agenda, what they believe. And those who refuse to are canceled. Those who refuse to are ostracized. Those who refuse to are made to lose their jobs, their businesses, because you will not bow to the mob. So, Esther chapter 3. And it was a command, by the way, because it says, now the king's servants who were with the king's gate said to Mordecai, why do you transgress the king's command? So this was a command. Now it happened when they spoke to him daily, he would not listen to them, and they told it to Haman to see whether Mordecai's words would stand. Okay, they're trying to see if he's going to go, okay, if he's going to actually, when push comes to shove, stand up for what he believes in. Okay, so they snitched on him. Basically, that's what you have here. For Mordecai had told them that he was a Jew. When Haman saw that Mordecai did not bow or pay him homage, Haman was filled with wrath. But he disdained to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had told him of the people of Mordecai. Instead, Haman sought to destroy all the Jews who were throughout the whole kingdom. So, politics. This is a book of politics, just like the book of Daniel. Politics. He would not bow. This was a command from the king, and this is where we are in our culture. There have been ordinances, there have been laws passed, but guys, you cannot bow, you cannot cave in, despite what laws have been passed, if it's contrary to God. If it interferes with your loyalty, your worship to God, you are not supposed to give in. We see the same thing in the book of Daniel. When they could find no fault in Daniel, okay, they were jealous, again, high up in politics. What did? They convinced the king to set a command for 30 days that no one could worship anyone but the king. When Daniel found out about this law, what did he do? The Bible says he went home, opened his windows, and prayed like he always had from his youth. This was in direct defiance of this command. Okay? We have the disciples in the book of Acts, chapters 4 and 5. You see, it says, for it is better to obey God than to obey man. Okay? So we have this here as well. So the story goes on. A decree is put out. Haman convinces the king, we need to annihilate these people because they transgress your commands. They don't show loyalty to you. So a law is put out that on a certain day that people are going to have the right, because remember, there was 127 different provinces in the kingdom. So there's so many different ethnicities. So a decree went out to annihilate and to kill the Jews, take their stuff on this day. So we go into chapter 4, which are the famous verses that Mordecai sends word to Esther. She didn't know why he was crying. She didn't know why he was lying in sackcloth and ashes at the gate. Found out. And now she's a Jew because she had not revealed herself as a Jew at this time. And what does he say to her? Verse 13 of chapter 4. Mordecai told them to answer Esther, "Do not think in your heart that you will escape in the king's palace any more than all the other Jews. For if you remain completely silent in this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place, but you and your family's health will perish." Okay? So if Esther wasn't going to do it, God would have raised someone else up. Okay? But since she was obedient, that's why we read about her. But God would have used somebody up. And that's anything in life, guys. There's an assignment that God has placed on your life. But if you choose not to do it, God's going to raise someone else up because his work needs to get done. And the kingdom needs to continue to go forth, whether you're with him or not. So just know that God will pass you up and give it to somebody else who is willing and obedient. Continue. The famous verse right here. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Okay. So that right there is what convinced her. That right there, she said, okay, go tell everyone to fast, pray for me. And I love Esther because I feel the same when it comes to the things of God. Just this rose up within her, a complete determination within her that she was not going to give in. She was not going to bow. And that's why she says, my maids and I will fast likewise, and I will go to the king, which is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. And that is a place as believers we need to come to. If I lose my life for the sake of the kingdom, so be it. If they kill me for the sake of the gospel, so be it. That is where we need to come to because we have had too much comfortable Christianity. We have had too much of convenient Christianity here in Western culture. And this right here, guys, this is an example that you take a stand for God no matter what. It needs to be Jesus no matter what. And this is what she's saying. If I perish, I perish. If I die, I die. And that is the resolve on the inside as believers we need to have when it comes to the gospel, when it comes to Jesus, that we do not deny him no matter what. We have so many brothers and sisters on the other side of the world that are killed and tortured daily because of their faith, because they were caught with a Bible, because they prayed for someone snitched on them, and they don't deny him. They are tortured to death and they don't deny him. And so for us as believers here, especially Western culture, guys, we need to take a lesson. Okay, so you know the story. She invites Haman and the king to a banquet, and she tells him, there's something I would like to ask. Well, the king says, whatever you want, I will give to you. She said, I'll ask tomorrow. If you please allow me this. So she makes another feast. Haman is so excited. He is ecstatic that the king and the queen, the queen is requesting his presence along with the king at a feast. Okay. But he still sees Mordecai in the streets and it gets him so mad. And his wife gives him the idea to make gallows to hang Mordecai on for all to see. Okay. And it's just really sad that this is what, his wife spoke to him. Instead of speaking life into him, she spoke this, and it was really conniving. And in the end, she paid for it as well. So Queen Esther reveals to the king at the feast of all places, like, this is cutthroat. It's like, this dude right here, this is the one that's trying to kill me and my people. Like, gotta give props to Queen Esther for that right there. So she saves the Jews, but the decree has already been made. It's already been sent out. It can't be undone. So therefore, they make another decree that the Jews have the right to protect themselves. They have the right to destroy anyone who's trying to destroy them. Okay. So the letters say, chapter 8, verse 11, by these letters, the king permitted the Jews who were in every city to gather together and protect their lives, to destroy, kill, and annihilate all the forces of any people or province that would assault them, both little children and women, and to plunder their possessions. So this is the decree. So sometimes people, I know believers have a hard time with when it comes to killing. In self-defense, no, God does not care about that. Listen, look, do you see this decree? Kill, annihilate anyone coming for you and for you to plunder their possessions as well. So when there's a time of war, it's okay. God allows these things like this. And so this is the divine reversal. What happened to Haman? When Esther pointed out that it was Haman, the one who's trying to kill her and her people, somebody was ready. Yo, these servants on the inside, I'm telling you, servants knew everything that went on inside of kingdoms because, they weren't allowed to say nothing, but they knew amongst each other. But apparently these servants were waiting because when the king found out that it was Haman, what did the servants say? They're like, he set up gallows for Mordecai, just so you know. You know what I mean? Like, they were there, they were ready. And so what did the king say? Hang him. Hang him on the gallows that he set up for Mordecai, and killed all of his family as well. His wife and his sons were killed as well. So this is the divine reversal. And it's the epitome of that verse where it says, what the devil meant for evil, God would turn it around. Sorry, I was trying to think of the location of the verse, which I believe is Genesis chapter 50. I believe is where we find this verse. Let me just find it for y'all right quick. Yeah, so Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. But as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. So this is the ultimate divine reversal. Okay, so be encouraged, friends, that whatever the devil has set up, whatever is happening to you personally, even the climate of the world we live in, God's going to reverse it. God's going to do a quick work. So you be encouraged. This is the feast of Purim. This is what they're celebrating. Started sundown last night, but I just wanted to bring this out to you because it's really important to recognize that you don't fall for things because there's threats made, that you don't bow to the mob. You take a stand for what you believe in, because this is what those fellow scribes of his, they snitched on him, and they were like, okay, let's see if he's really going to stand up to them. And he did. Okay. And even Esther, she said, all right, if I perish, I perish, but I'm going to do this thing. So, guys, just be encouraged. You take a stand for righteousness, for God. Take a stand for the kingdom, for Jesus. There will be a divine reversal on your behalf. So, this is Bite Size Insight with Monique. I hope you were encouraged and challenged by this. And yeah, any other verses or topics you would like me to cover, please go ahead and send an email to info@moniquedeleon.com. I will be more than happy to go ahead and dive into it, give you some insight on a scripture or a topic or a phrase in the Bible that you have a question on.